Hello dear students, how are you all? I hope you all are fine. Yes? Did you finish your homework, all of you? Did you finish your homework? In this video, we are going to discuss about data communication between CPU and memory. In this video, we are going to discuss about data communication between CPU and memory. How data are communicated between CPU and memory. We have a CPU. Inside the CPU, we have the three units. What are the units? ALU, CU and register. ALU means arithmetic logic unit and control unit. Arithmetic logic unit, control unit and register. The central processing unit has a memory register data. Memory register data. The central processing unit has two registers. The memory unit has two registers. What are the registers? Memory data register and memory address register. Memory data register and memory address register. So, I already know register. What do you mean by register? Some memory which is used to all the data temporary. All the data stored in temporary. It is used to address all the data's memory. Data register keep the data which is transferred between the memory and CPU. So memory la irundhu CPU ku transfer agra data so CPU la transfer agra CPU la memory la transfer agra data so edla store agum adoda memory la store pandra. Okay. Program counter is a special register. Program counter is a special register. In the instruction to execute. So, இந்த instruction எப்படி ஆகும் போது அதோட address instruct பண்ணுறத program counter. Instruct பண்ணுச்சுனா that is called program counter. Always CPU reads the address from the program counter. So, program counter la irka address la based on instruction that is nothing but it contains the set of instructions. So, in the instruction use panni contains lot of instruction one by one. Only each instruction will be write down the program counter and all the instructions from the execution. The arithmetic and logic unit of CPU places the address of memory to be fetched into the memory address register. We know that ALU. What is ALU? Arithmetic logic unit as the performance of ALU is used to perform the ALU calculation. So the PC register in the instruction execute பண்ணனும்னா அத instruction ஓட address program counter registerல hold பண்ணிருக்கும். ALU reads the address from the program counter. ALU read the address from the program counter. Program counter குள்ள இருக்க address read பண்ணிட்டு அந்த memory address registerல place பண்ணும். See, for this example, நம்ம எங்க இருக்க instruction read பண்ணும் அது instruction dataவா இருக்கலாம் இல்லனா என்னவானால் இருக்கலாம். என்ன instruction execute ஆகணுமோ அந்த instruction addressல inside பாத்தீங்கன்னா எல்லா address யூஸ் பண்ணி தான் transaction நடக்கும். So அந்த address வந்து PC registerல இருக்கும். PC registerல PC means program counter, that short form is PC. Okay, என்ன instruction இருக்கோ அந்த கரண்டா எடுத்துக்கும். So அந்த addressல arithmetic logic unit read பண்ணிட்டு that address will be based on the memory address register. That address will be based on the memory address register. Okay. Check the book. Page number is 53. The central processing unit has a memory data register and a memory address register. The memory data register keeps the data which is transferred between the memory and the CPU. The program counter is a special register in the CPU which always keeps the address of the next instruction to be executed. The arithmetic and logic unit of CPU places the address of the memory to be fetched into the memory address register. Okay. Next, what do you mean by bus? What do you mean by bus? Bus is nothing but it is the collection of wires is used for communication between the internal components of the computer. So ஒரு componentல இருந்து இன்னொரு component dataவை transfer பண்றதுக்கு we are using the buses. Bus is nothing but it is the collection of wires. Last class itself discussed about the bus. They have three types of bus. Data bus, address bus and control bus. Data bus, address bus and control bus. Data bus carries the data between the CPU and memory, and disk bus carries the address in the CPU and memory, and we have a control bus also which gives the signal read or write operations here. Okay. After the address placed in the memory address register. So ALU memory address place பண்ணி that address will be placed on the address bus. CVல இருந்து அந்த address bus carry பண்ணிட்டு போகும். Address தான் memory correct ஆன location, that locations identify the read operation. Transfer the data bus from the memory register for now we have two read operations. So what do you mean by read operation? Memory la irukka data read பண்ணி CPU la irukka data register la store பண்ணும். name தான் program counter. என்ன address இருக்கோ அந்த addressல read பண்ணி it just place in the memory address register. In the memory address register pass the address to the address buses. So address buses just a address to the reach the particular location in the memory. So in a particular location la irundhu reach ஆகிறதுக்கு அங்க இருக்க data நம்ம எங்க போடணும்? memory data register la place பண்ணனுமா? Why we should place it here? Because read operations. Because here we are used read operation. Read means we are read the data from the memory. We are read the data from the memory. So inga memory la irukka data will be placed on the data buses. Data buses alone carries the data from the memory to CPU. என்ன டேட்டாஸை பர்டிகுலர் அட்ரஸில் இருக்க டேட்டாஸ் மெமரி டேட்டா place பண்ணணும். Data base carries the data and sent to the memory data register. Communication between the memory and CPU. Here we are used to write operation. Transfer the data which memory data register to where. So read operation memory la irukka data நம்ம CPU ல read பண்ணும். write operation CPU ல இருக்கிற எங்க memory ல read பண்ணும்? For example the calculation 5 plus 3 calculate பண்ணும்போது அதோட டேட்டாஸை மெமரியில் ரீட் பண்ணி நம்ம CPU ல கொண்டு வந்து சிபியில் என்ன பண்ணுவோம், சிபியில் கொண்டு வந்துட்டோம். சிபியில் பிறகு we are performing 5 plus 3 normally addition. We know 5 plus 3 is 8. We are getting the result. 5 plus 3 is 8. We are getting the result. And the result எங்கே இருக்கும், மெமரியில் டேட்டா ரிஜிஸ்டரில் இருக்கும். We have to send the memory. Which operation should be executed? Read and write operation should be executed. So write operation, what will done here? Their execution is read and write operation. Here execution is read and write operations. Okay guys? Okay, right all of you? Okay, next topic, types of microprocessor. Types of microprocessor can be classified based on the following criteria. The width of the data can be processed. The instruction set. Okay. Without the data is nothing but how data is processed at a time. Based on data, depends on the data, microprocessor can process the instruction it classified at 8-bit processor, process 8-bit at a time. Okay. Types of microprocessor classified based on the following criteria. The width of the data that can be processed, the instruction set. Okay. Classification of microprocessor based on the width. The microprocessor can be classified into 4 types. One is 8-bit microprocessor, 16-bit microprocessor, and 32-bit microprocessor, and 64-bit microprocessor. 8-bit microprocessor and 60-bit microprocessor and 32-bit microprocessor and 64-bit microprocessor. Okay, 8-bit microprocessor, 16-bit microprocessor and 32-bit microprocessor and 64-bit microprocessor. Next, classification of microprocessor based on the instruction set. Classification of microprocessor based on the instruction set. Okay. Initially, microprocessor had very small instruction set. Because complex hardware was expensive as well as difficult to build. As technology had developed to overcome these issues, more and more complex instructions were added to increase the functionality of microprocessor. Okay, next one is reduce instruction set computer. Reduce instruction sets of computer. This is one word. You should mark the expansion of RISC. Reduce instructions set of computer. Next you should mark the examples of RISC processors or Pentium 4 and Intel Basic and AMD K6 and K7. This is the important one word. Okay, you should mark. They have a small set highly optimized instruction. The highly optimized instruction are also implemented using simple instruction, thus reducing the size of the instruction set. The size of the instruction set. Okay, next one is complex instruction set computer. Complex instruction set computer. You should mark the line. This is also one word. CISC, the expansion. Complex instruction set computer. CS stands for complex instruction set computer. They support hundreds of instructions. Computer supporting CIS can accomplish a wide variety of tasks, making them ideal for personal computer. Example: CISC processors or Intel 386. You should mark that line. That is important one word. Okay, guys. Intel 386 and 486, Pentium and Pentium 2 and Pentium 3 and Motorola. You should mark that example. This is the important one word. Sometimes question ரொம்ப டஃபா இருக்கணும்னு நினைப்பாங்க. அந்த டைம் இந்த கொஸ்டின்ஸ்லாம் இந்த மாதிரி தான் ரொம்ப இன்சைடா இருப்பாங்க. ஓகே, did you understand all of you? Next topic is memory device. The next topic is memory device. Okay, memory device. What is computer memory? What is computer memory? Computer memory is similar to the human beings. So we first, our brain keep all the incidents happen in our life. Whatever we learn, whatever we see, whatever we learn, whatever we see, everything used in our brain. Everything used in our brain. Only we can easily remember and recollect everything. Also similarly, there are places we can store data and instructions in a computer. That place is called as memory unit. The memory unit. So the computer is base computer. This computer is base computer. Why the data instructions are stored? Memory access. Once your data is stored, we need your data from the memory. Right is nothing but during the data into the memory. Okay, first memory device. What is memory device? Computer memory is similar to the human beings. Computer memory is similar to the human being. So we first, our brain keep all the incident happen in our life. Whatever we learn, whatever we see, everything is used in our brains. Only we can easily remember and recollect everything. Also similarly, there are places we can store data and instructions in a computer. That place is called memory unit. So the computer memory is base computer where the data instructions are stored. Memory access. Once the data is stored, we need your data from the memory. Write is nothing but during the data into the memory. Okay, did you understand all of you? Look at the diagram, page number 56. Okay, that figure 3.6, memory hierarchy. Next one is random access memory, RAM. The expansion of RAM. Random access memory. The expansion of RAM. The random access memory. Main memory is otherwise called as random access memory. Main memory is otherwise called as random access memory. We already discussed in this first chapter. That is the main memory. We know a main memory and primary memory, secondary memory. Okay, which is your primary memory? RAM as the primary memory. So it is the form of integrator circuit. This RAM fixed in the motherboard. If you want to see, means if you have lab computer, you should see the motherboard. Okay, it is fixed in the motherboard. It is a place in the computer where operating system application program data in the current. Use of the kept temporary memory, kept in the temporary memory, can be accessed by the computer processor. So the processor executes the data what is stored in the RAM, what is stored in the RAM only. Okay, what is stored in the data? What is stored in the what is stored in the RAM only? RAM store all the data program. RAM stored all the data program temporarily. But whatever stored a whatever computer processor RAM current என்ன data எத்தனை program இருக்கோ அத program இருக்கும் அந்த program மட்டும்தான் computer processல execute பண்ணும். So RAM is the primary memory. RAM is the primary memory. We know what difference between primary memory and secondary memory. We already discussed in chapter 1. Okay, we already discussed in chapter 1. What is primary memory? Primary memory is a temporary storage device. We already discussed in chapter 1 what is difference between primary memory and secondary memory. Primary memory is a temporary storage device. Primary memory is a temporary storage device. This is non-volatile memory. This is non-volatile memory, and secondary memory is a permanent storage device. Permanent storage device. Okay. Did you understand? The main memory is otherwise called as random access memory. This is available in computer in the form of integrated circuit. We already studied in generation, I think third generation used in integrator circuits. Yes, integrator IC chip, integrator circuits. Yes or no? It is the place in your computer where the operating system, application program and the data current use are kept temporarily, because here we are used to what memory? Which memory? Primary memory. Any memory? Primary memory. Okay. Did you understand, all of you? Types of RAM. Types of RAM. Types of random access memory. Random access memory. There are two types of random access memory. How many types of random access memory? Two types of random access memory. One is static ROM and dynamic ROM. Static ROM and dynamic ROM. Static ROM and dynamic ROM. Okay. Dynamic RAM, being a common type, needs to be refreshed frequently. Static ROM need to be refreshed less often, which makes it faster. Static RAM is more expansive than dynamic RAM. Difference between static ROM and dynamic ROM. You should mark the line. That page number is 56, which makes it faster. Static ROM is more than expansive than dynamic ROM. More than expansive and dynamic ROM. Did you understand? Next one is read-only memory. ROM. Okay, next one is ROM, read-only memory. So, ROM is the read-only memory. Here, only the read operation. We cannot write anything. Read operation into this memory, read-only memory, to the special memory in a computer, which for record data at manufacturing time, which cannot be modified. So, RAM la நம்ம என்ன பார்த்தோமோ, எவ்வளோ ஒர்க் பண்ணுறோமோ அது எல்லாம் ரேமில் ஸ்டோர் ஆகும் டெம்பரரியாக. பட் ROM manufacturing all the data everything's on recorder. Okay, difference between RAM and ROM. ROM is stored in temporarily. Okay, they are used to primary memory, but ROM is stored permanently. Okay, here we are used secondary memory. That is the difference of RAM and ROM. That is the difference of RAM and ROM. Okay. Read-only memory refers to special memory in a computer pre-recorded data at manufacturing time which cannot be modified. The stored programs that are stored at the computer and perform diagnostics are available in ROMs. ROMs are stored crucial programs such as the program that books to the computer. Okay, do you understand? I hope you all are brilliant. Yes? All are genius. அப்படிதானே எல்லாருக்கும் எல்லாம் தெரியும் அப்படிதானடா ஓகே programmable read only memory programmable read only memory read only memory is nothing but programmable read only memory and also the non-volatile memory. It is also the non-volatile memory on which data can be written only once. So ஏதோ RAM மாதிரி தான். This is also like RAM. This is also like RAM. இதில் என்ன டிஃப்ரென்ஸ்னா this is here only one difference. So it is also non-volatile. Here only one difference, that is non-volatile. Okay, that is non-volatile. Programmable read-only memory is also a non-volatile memory on which data can be written only once. Once a program has been written onto a prompt and remains there forever, unlike the main memory, prompts return their content even when the computer is turned on. Erasable, programmable, read-only memory, EEPROM. Okay, that is called as EEPROM. EEPROM is nothing but so Chromeல ஒரு memory மட்டும்தான் ஸ்டோர் பண்ண முடியும். So it can be erased, it cannot be modified. It can be erased, it cannot be modified, but in the EEPROM we can do all this. We can do EEPROM we can do all this. Okay. Erasable programmable read-only memory is a special type on the memory which solve a PROM, but content can be erased using ultraviolet rays. The content violent using ultraviolet waves. Okay, guys, did you understand this more that line? The ultraviolet light clones its content, making it possible to reprogram the memory. And EEPROM differs from a PROM. PROM can be written only once, cannot be erased. PROMs are used widely in personal computers because they enable the manufacturer to change the content to the PROM to replace with the updated version or erase the content before the computer is delivered. Next up, electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. Electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. We are deleting content using. Here we are deleting the content using electrically erasable programmable read-only memory special type can be erased by exposing to an electrical charge. We can erase easily. Okay, this is the electrical erasable programmable read-only memory, electrical erasable programmable read-only memory is a special type. One is the last one is cache memory. The last one is cache memory. We already discussed about cache memory. It is the topmost memory. It is the topmost memory. The cache memory is a high-speed expansive memory which is used to speed the memory. So it is very high speed and expansive memory. The cost of memory is expansive, but primary memory and hard disk and primary memory and hard disk, but primary memory and hard disk due to idle cost CPU comes the smallest of cache memory compared with the size of cache memory. So this is the RAM. This is the RAM. This is the cache memory. Okay. The cache memory is very high speed and expansive memory which is used to speed up the memory retrieval process due to its higher cost of the CPU comes with the smaller size cache memory compared with the size main memory. Without cache memory, every time the CPU requires the data has to be fetched from the main memory, which all consume more time. Okay. More time. The idea of introducing a cache memory is that has extremely fast memory which store data that is frequently accessed and if possible the data that is closer to it. This helps to achieve the fast response time. Okay. Almost I think all of you written your classwork, yes? Okay, this is your homework. First one is explain the types of ROM. Explain the types of ROM. Explain the types of ROM. Next, differentiate PROM and EEPROM. Differentiate PROM and EEPROM. Third one is how the read and write operations are performed by a processor. Explain how the read and write operations are performed by a processor and explain which sources used to erase the content of EEPROM. Which sources used to erase the content of EEPROM. This is your homework. Mark it all of you. Everybody should write your homework with pen. Don't use Pelican and Widener. You should use only pen. Okay.